we're back. We are going to be doing chapter 3 today of Woman of the Word by Jen Wilkins. By Jen Wilkin. And basically this is chapter 3, Study with Purpose. So I've got my notes here, so if you see me looking down, it's just because I'm reading my notes and catching you guys up. So basically, she starts off with just reminding us that with every good endeavor, it should be done with a purpose. So just like my channel, driven with a purpose, anything good that you are doing needs to have a purpose behind it. What is that purpose? So when it comes to the Bible, you need to have a purpose when studying the Bible. Are you just studying the Bible for studying the Bible, or are you actually understanding what is being said when you study the Bible? So Genesis to Revelations, the Bible tells us about the reign and the rule of God. A story of her four main points here: creation, fall, redemption, and restoration. Okay, so studying the Bible means keeping this view in mind at all times, not changing the Bible to be whatever you prefer it to be. And that we kind of touched in the second chapter. So then she goes on to give us an illustration. She actually goes on and gives us two illustrations. I'm just going to bring up the one illustration that she gives. And she says, just like a garden which has trees, we can't really look at a tree and see its leaves like falling off and be like, oh no, it's dying, right? We got to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Well, all of the trees in the garden's leaves are falling off. That means it's autumn. That's just the season that the tree is in. And so we can't just open our Bible. We need to know what the bigger picture is. And here she kind of basically just dives deeper in to that first statement of those 4 points, which is the Bible's big story. The big picture is a story of creation, fall, redemption, and restoration. She goes further with so many more examples. So she looks at Noah's story, the Good Samaritan, and then she says, well, not only these tiny stories, but actual full-on books like law, poetry, wisdom, literature, and prophecy can be applied to this. So let's break down Noah's story together. Noah's story shows redemption and the fall. God's ultimate power on full display. Humankind once again shown redemption. God creates, God orders, God preserves life, God provides, God delivers, and God alone can save. It's just this beautiful picture all wrapped up into one book, Noah. And that points forward to all of the books and is in the same rhythm as all of the books. Need another scenario? The Good Samaritan. So we've done Old Testament, let's do a New Testament version. Good Samaritan. God sent his own son to be rejected, while the Good Samaritan was rejected by the Jews. God sent him to save us from certain death, while the Good Samaritan saved this man on the roadside who was in desperate need. God sent him to restore all things. Ultimately, the Good Samaritan pays for this guy's needs and pays for it in full. All scripture points to that story, the big story of creation, fall, redemption, and restoration. Okay, so those are just two small stories. What about things like the law, poetry, wisdom, literature, and prophecy? Well, she covers that too. She says, the law, God calls us to be more like him, and we will understand our need for redemption by beginning the process of restoration of the image of God that was lost at the fall. Literally has 3 things in there: process of redemption, process of restoration, process of the fall. Poetry is another one, such as Psalms and Job, beautiful books of poetry. And these point to creation and to the fall, ultimately over and over again. Wisdom literature, redemption, and the ongoing work of restoration in the life of the believer. And finally, prophecy. redemption has been accomplished, and restoration is certain. In the end, she ultimately concludes with, studying is not an easy process. Learning the bigger picture is not going to be an easy and effortless process, but we're going to approach it in the next chapter. So I do like her cliffhangers. She gives these little cliffhangers. So stay tuned, because we will be reading the next chapter soon in the future.